feel the pain of wishing you were here by me to end this misery.
What did you think the future was going to be like when you were 17 years old?
Well, I kind of thought that we'd probably have robots that would do all the housework for us. They would do the mundane tasks such as cooking and cleaning, possibly even allow me time to do what I want to do with my leisure. There was a programme when I was younger on television that was called Tomorrow's World, and it portrayed loads and loads of different things that was possible for in the future, things that would be quite possible as well. Although technology has progressed, and we do have such things as washing machines and dishwashers and tumble dryers and satellite television, and even satellite television streamed into every room in every house. Washing machines, dishwashers, microwaves, all taken for granted. And when I was younger, we didn't even have things like central heating. We had coal fires, and then we had to end up having to use hot water boiled by the kettle to dishes and to get washed.
When I was 17. When I was 17, I was probably still in high school. Didn't have mobile phones then, didn't have tablets. Computers were huge. My games console was a Sega Mega Drive, which was an old-fashioned big box with a cartridge pushing on it. The graphics were terrible. But whether I think it held, we had Tomorrow's World on the television, which was quite popular at the time. But they had visions of flying cars by the year 2000, and you know, giant tellies that were still the same as the old CRDs. Things have moved on much faster than that. For me, I think it's about technology has to reach a limit at some point. We 150 years ago didn't have motor cars, we didn't have airplanes, and now we're at a stage where all of those have kind of reached their peak and their limit. When I was 17, I didn't think we'd have flying cars. I did believe that technology would move on. I knew things would probably get smaller and neater, but the advances that we've made are leaps and bounds over what I thought it was going to be. We didn't have too much in the way of technology, if you like, when I was 17. I had a beanbag that I played with, very strange, as opposed to kids nowadays who sit in front of televisions and computers and they've got everything on their phones. It was always a time for change, and I think they thought that everything that would be coming, you know, the flying cars and the big televisions, would all be prohibitively expensive. Nobody would be able to afford them. They were, you know, they're going to be for the rich and the famous. And obviously, looking back now, you think, well, that's maybe what it should have been, but it's not been like that. Everything's pretty much accessible now. The time scale involved from a technology point of view has just been incredible. Medical advances over the last 20 or 30 years just exploding exponentially to what everybody thought it was going to be 100 years ago. They were sawing your arms off with bits of wood between your mouth. It's incredible. I'm not sure what.
I used to think the future when I was 17, based on what I watched when I was younger, like Back to the Future, like Star Wars, stuff like that, that would be a lot more advanced than it is now. It is advanced, but I don't know, from watching Back to the Future, the hoverboard and the hover car, and I don't know, I thought more with magnetics would be involved rather than, I'm not too sure, I don't know, but like for example TVs have come a long way from having the big backs, the CRTs I think they're called, I'm not too sure, from now flat screens everywhere, and you have 4K tellies that are just ridiculous. It's like looking through a window. Like I would never imagined that, but I don't know, more transport wise I would have thought it would be a lot more advanced than it is now.
What do you think the future is going to be like now?
Well, I would like to see continuing research as success leading to a time when older people such as myself needn't worry about debilitating diseases such as Alzheimer's and cancers, where the only reason for death possibly would be old age, comfortable and pain-free.
What do I think the future is going to hold now? I think in my last statement I said that things had exploded exponentially in the last 50 or 60 years. I think most of the technology we have nowadays will reach a limit. There's only so much we can do to make things smaller and lighter and more compact. I think the computing power will still grow up through the roof. Phones will be able to hold more memory and that kind of thing. I don't think we're going to have rocket cars and all that kind of stuff. I think probably cars have reached their limit for safety on the roads. We can get cars that do 200 miles an hour now. It's just crazy. I don't think we'll get any faster than that. I think they'll probably bring back airplanes like Concorde. I think we'll probably see a rise in transport, might be a little bit quicker. I don't think that medical advancements can be made much more. I think there'll be more research and more advancements into treating terminal disease. I think people have to look at nature for that kind of thing as opposed to man-made chemicals. From a personal point of view, I think where we are is just fine. I don't think it'll be like the movies are portraying, where you can lie on a bed and it fixes broken bones and x-rays you and tells you what's wrong with you and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that there is a ceiling, and I think we're pretty close to that ceiling. Physics will probably keep advancing. I think there's a lot to be learned from what they're doing just now, Higgs boson and things like that. I think that the universe needs to be explained a little bit more. There's still massive exploration to be done under the sea. They reckon we're only about 8 or 9% of what we know under the sea, so the exploration under the sea will continue for a long time and more advances made there. But I think as a race, I think we're at the top of our limit. I don't think we can go much higher than we are.
I think the future from now onwards, I think technology is going a lot faster than what people can keep up with, if that even makes sense. For example, explain to someone 30 years ago that you've got a bit of glass and metal in your hand and you can communicate with someone across the other side of the world and actually see them, and it's called a phone. You know what I mean? Everyone has one, everyone has a smartphone, but I think everyone takes it for granted. And I think the future, the way we're going now, I don't know, it's like we'll be consumed by technology in a way. If you see everyone in their smartphones, everyone looking at screens all the time and less communication between people, I don't know if it will be good or bad, but the way we're going is it's getting really advanced in a small space of time from now onwards, I think, personally.